Here I am, the ancient one, at Planet Fitness, reflecting on a life well run. It's been a great ride. My son passed last night, and I'm celebrating. This is healthy relief for me. We took care of my son, my wife and I, and been married 64 years. My son is 62, he passed last night, thankfully. And we're so grateful because he struggled. End-stage renal. Anybody knows me know much. I loved and cared for him and his mother also. Well, it's over. And it's a passage. We'll miss him. 7 years we have answered the gong and dialysis 3 times a week. His mother, she gets up early anyway, 5 o'clock in the morning, take him in, dialysis. Special nutrition, food. And I would do my end, exercise. We would come here to Planet Fitness and work out when he felt like he was able. After 5.5 hours of dialysis, he was no condition on that day, 3 times a week. But I'd ask him, I said, Rob, how do you feel? You want to go work out? Well, he said, yeah. He's always cheerful, and he would respond to my urging, and we would come in, and Rob would get on the treadmill. He started out doing an hour, which was really too much for him. So we compromised on 30 minutes, which is still a good workout. And I went to all the different stations, stretching, which I need at my age. I need it today because he passed last night at 7:14. And he'd been ER at 3 massive brain strokes, trauma, no brain function. And I was with him every step of the way, and his mother. And he knows we were there for him. And not every family member has the chance to be with their loved one when they pass. But it's been a hard week, but a blessing last night. And he breathed his last as we held his hand. And then as he lay there, my wife and I, for at least 20 minutes, recounted all the joyous times that we had together. And so much humor too, but we've been to Paris. We took him even though he was compromised. And he was so knowledgeable. got 3 degrees, degree in chemistry from UGA, degree in art from Kansas City Art Institute. He has a certificate in teaching, and he's got a super brain. He's way more intelligent in certain areas than me, but as I said, one-dimensional, which is fine, and wired differently than me. I jokingly said that my wife is from Venus, I'm from Mars, and my son is from a galaxy far, far away. So, not many parents have the ability to spend the time with their only remaining child. My daughter died 3 years ago, unexpectedly. That was traumatic, but this was expected. Of course, we all go. That's part of life, is death. But how to die with grace and dignity? We don't all have that option. So we're blessed. We're so thankful. This is 2 days after Thanksgiving. Of course, we spent it in the hospital. And a great hospital system that we're thankful for. Northside Gwinnett here in Lawrenceville. So we were in all the ER, the CCU, and neurological center, and then the comfort care area, and then finally into the final area, or the waiting area. But my wife she's a trooper. If I'm in the trenches in warfare, I want her by my side. She has been for 64 years. Wow. And I am now here working out a little mental health. And speaking of mental, I'm so aware of athletes that can't play because of mental health issues. Tennis players, acrobats, Simon Biles, the little athlete, Olympic, couldn't. And it is debilitating. And I understand what happens. You go into depression. Well, it's a matter of brain chemistry and circumstances. And a lot of it we don't have control over. It creeps up on me. And I feel so much compassion for those people. Physical, we can deal with physical rehab and a back or knee or joints go out, or even accidents. But mental, it's hard to figure. Our brain is so complex. We have cortisol, which is a destructive chemical that we all feel anguish, and it causes ulcers, cancer. What we want is endorphins. Well, we had a large measure of endorphins when the Atlanta Braves won the World Championship a couple weeks ago. Wow. My son and I celebrated, high five, so many games. That was just so healthy. And then, how about them dogs? My son graduated from UGA, huge University of Georgia fan, and I am too. And they're number one, undefeated football. Well, that has meant so much to us in this last couple months. So we've had a great bunch. My son and I are so fortunate. We are so bonded and so rich with our relationship. And many parents don't have that advantage. They spend the 18 years or 20 years doing everything they can to provide nutrition and housing, education for their children. But then they go on their way and they make their own life, and that's the way it should be. But then they come home, maybe Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and it's a great reunion. But I've had 7 years constant daily communication, relationship with my son, and that's rare. And he was always so cheerful, even in face of all his physical challenges. And all his organs were compromised. He had cancer, which resulted in his immune system going down with chemo and radiation, and that resulted in diabetes. So that's destructive. But his mind was always good. And he played a game called Civilization endlessly. It's a strategy game, and he loved it, and it was healthy. And I was so glad every day he would be in front of his big TV, and hours. I couldn't do it. He was an internationally rated chess champion. That's another thing. He placed 4th in the world in Philadelphia, 2,000 competitors. So he had that capacity and that patience. He would play chess 24 hours overnight, all night with friends. I could not do it. I have to be outside, as anybody knows me. Golf is my life, teaching, and every day I'm practicing. I used to play, live to play, now I live to teach. I do play once a week, but 5 days a week I'm teaching. So that's my life. And of course, I don't want to overlook the spiritual aspect in our church and support family. We did. Robert loved our Sunday school, 37 members, and relationships, sharing, studying, worshiping, and learning. Recent months with the pandemic, we've done virtual Sunday school, so he and I would gather in front of his big TV and share. I think of those memories. I think of all the traveling. We've been to every state in the Union, and I had a 27-foot travel trailer, did the whole Western Odyssey, 2 months, camped and hiked, and so that was amazing with 2 families, my wife. We've been to every state in the Union. We've been to 20 countries abroad, 10 different trips. Robert went to Paris with us. That was amazing. He's so knowledgeable, and he was up on archaeology and history. So we look back and we celebrate. And I continue. It's been less than 24 hours, but processing. We all go through it. Family members pass. And I know my wife and I, 64 years, one of us will go before the other. That's the way it works. So we've had practice. We know that the best is yet to come, because John 14, my Father has many rooms in his mansion. He has room for you. Robert is there. We're blessed and we're thankful. And this is the ancient one. And my loss, but my son is so richly rewarded now, and we're thankful. Thank you all for being friends. Cheers. Out.